Last night was full moon, so I thought maybe we'd get a little weird today. Those of you that know me know that I talk a lot of crap about astrology, and I have this beautiful arrangement of crystals that I put outside at the full moon, and I pull cards on the full moon, and clearly I'm in denial. I just love this thing. I got it on Etsy, or it was a gift from somebody on Etsy. So what I wanted to do today is pull some cards and see what came up as we go. And I'm going to try and weave it together into a story or add some wisdom to things. The two that I pulled last night are Sanctuary and The Path. And this comes from a deck called The Sacred Forest, which is Denise Lynn, and Queen of the Moon, which is Stacy DeMarco. So I'm just going to shuffle these up, and this is not a reading. This is not, oh, this one came flying out, so this is going to be our first card. This is just me shooting from the hip, seeing what shows up. I'm trying to record a video most days. And this is wisdom. The 22nd card, of course. So wisdom is a significant departure from knowledge. Knowledge is of the intellect, it's of the mind, of the mental body. Wisdom is of the heart, or even better, the heart-mind. Wisdom is something that you can only know. It's not something that you can learn. It's been passed down from teacher to teacher, generation to generation, not through the words that they use, but through the energy that is conveyed via the things that they are saying. One of the things that I found interesting is a lot of people follow gurus that have passed on, that have changed forms. And a lot of people don't ever reach enlightenment in following those gurus. And one thing I heard along the way is that it was the auric interaction that allowed the teachings of that particular individual to open people up. And so obviously, if they're past, we can't be in their direct aura. On some level, we can commune with them, but it's not the same as being in their physical presence. And being in that presence is how this wisdom can be imparted to you. Wisdom is something that bubbles up from the inside. And the work that I do with people, it's all about tapping into the inherent wisdom that you have. The gifts that you have to share with the world come from this wisdom. It is infinite, and you already know it all for the thing that you are really and truly supposed to do in this world. Like me right now, I'm ripping cards and I'm going to talk to you for 15 minutes because that's what I'm good at doing. I didn't have to study to do it. I didn't have to learn to do it. I just am able to do it. And it's because that is my version of wisdom. And it's something different for everyone. And then the 22nd card, I have to say something about that. So Gene Key 22 is all about suffering. And if you're not familiar with the Gene Keys, it's a system that takes 64 archetypal energies and splits it into 3 frequency bands: the shadow, the gift, and the siddhi. The shadow being the lowest expression of the energy, the siddhi being the divine expression of the energy. And the 22nd Gene Key is dishonor, graciousness, grace. And it is all about suffering. And suffering is how we obtain wisdom. There's a saying, every shadow contains a gift. In other words, every hard thing that happens in your life is a seed that is planted inside of you that with enough awareness, enough focus, enough attention will begin to bubble up from the inside and flower into the exact thing that you need to transmute and transform that suffering and press it in the service of the world. So that is the 22nd Gene Key, Wisdom, which came for that Queen of the Moon Oracle deck. I'm going to pull one now. I could not have planned that any better. Why do they keep flying out? This is wild. I swear I am not purposefully knocking these cards out. Nuh-uh. This is wild. Okay, Eagle Spirit. 13th card freedom is the card. Those of you that are familiar with the gene keys will understand why I'm laughing right now. I'm not going to start there. This is also eagle spirit. Marcy, one of the women that I work with, has been visited by eagles very significantly. So freedom is what all of this seeking is all about. Liberation. Learning that we are not a victim. That is what gives you freedom. When you recognize that the world is not happening to you. The world is happening so that you can develop, so that you can grow, so that you can let go, detach. That's what brings freedom. Getting the thing that you think you want is not going to bring freedom. Having all the money in the world is not going to bring freedom, because what you'll find when you have that thing, which is the thing that you think you need right now, is that you're still going to have this feeling of constriction. You're still going to have this feeling that something isn't quite right. And it's because that is driven from the inside. There is this feeling of separation, this feeling that something is not right in the world. And the reason that that is there is because we are separate. We were part of this unified field of consciousness, and when we choose to come here, we get pulled out of that. And it is our task while we are here to remember, right? It's said that we drink from the river of forgetting, our soul does, as we come in to this planet. And it's our work to learn how to remember. And when we remember, then and only then can we have our freedom. So the reason that I laughed about this freedom is that this is the 55th gene key. And the 22nd and the 55th gene key are the two most important gene keys in the whole book. The 55th is all about a future prophecy. So if you go a few videos back, I talk about an event that I went to in London about the great change in the future human. And that prophecy is in this 55th gene key. It talks about the new human, the Homo Sanctus, the spiritual human coming online. And this freedom is going to come about, going back to the wisdom piece, when we're able to take our awareness from our intellect and move it down into our heart and actually into our belly. Our belly is where freedom is born. Our solar plexus system allows us to reconnect to that thing that we feel separate from. And when we reconnect to it, we realize that we are no longer a victim. We realize that we are, in fact, a part of everything in a very real way of what we perceive is happening to us. But with unity, we recognize that all of those are part of the same thing, and they're all just a part of life leading me to complete my mythical narrative, my mythical story. The hero's journey is the hero's journey because it is our story of becoming the hero. The story of the Bible about unleashing Christ consciousness, that is freedom. Man, I couldn't have planned this any better. 13th card. So I just want to say a little bit about another part of freedom is discernment. We need to learn to discern what brings us closer to freedom and what limits us, what keeps us stuck in our current way of being. So often we hear what the collective is telling us is the truth. The issue with that is the collective frequency is low. It's the reason that the world operates in the way that the world operates right now. And so we've got to learn to listen to different stories, different teachers, different things. And we've got to put that through the filter of our awareness and our heart so that we know what is actual truth and what isn't. All right, back to Queen of the Moon deck here. Okay, it didn't pop out that time. We've got gratitude. And this is the 23rd card. And we've got some holding hands here. So what that picture represents to me is actually an idea of veneration. And this really ties into gratitude. Veneration, a word that we don't hear so much anymore. Veneration of past holy people is really the only place that it comes up. But it's this sense of reverence. Veneration is this sense of honoring all those that have come before us and all those that will come after us. It's living your life in a way that you know that you are standing on the shoulders of giants and you could not be in the place that you are in without them. And that is a sacred thing that they did for us, and it deserves our deepest gratitude. We must learn to venerate all of life, to find gratitude for everything that happens. And it's tuning into that frequency that allows the attractor field, the things that you're calling in, to start to change. And this is beating a dead horse, so I don't even know if I want to go down this road. So many people will tell you this. You need to put yourself in the frequency of gratitude. And so many people say it because it's true. Your outward life starts to change when you believe with every fiber of your being that you're exactly where you need to be, that you are not a victim, that life is working like it needs to work for you. And when you do that, then and only then will the external start to shift. I should say, there is this weird middle period where we believe, right? Logically we believe, but it's not in our body. We don't have it embodied yet. And I know a lot of people, that's the chasm, right? That's the big giant leap that we must cross. And a lot of people aren't sure how to do that. And it does take faith. However, there's a period where you act in line with your beliefs, even though you don't 100% know them yet. And honestly, it's where I am right now. I'm really close to knowing. I will say that, but I don't know, not all the way, not yet. My stubborn hard head, the Marine Corps in me, wants more proof, even though I have so much. So what we need to do is act as if we know. So I'm gonna, in other words, take a risk. In other words, trust in your higher self, trust in the universe, do what you love and trust that you're gonna be supported for it. And know that fear is gonna come up. Know that you feel like you're gonna die because you're worried that you're not gonna have the resources that you need. This largely shows up in our modern time as having things to do with money. Right? We tell ourselves we can't take the leap because I'm not going to be able to pay my bills, I don't have a place to live, I'm not going to be able to support my family, all of that. If you logically believe all the things that I talk about on this channel, but you still have those thoughts moving through your mind and haven't made the moves, that means even though logically you might believe this stuff, you do not have it embodied. And so we begin to notice the things that we are grateful for. We give thanks for them. We pray, we pray, we pray. I'm glad I just thought of that. Pray every single day. It's the first thing I do every single morning. I give thanks for the people, name by name, that I work with and what they're working on. I give thanks to my daughter, to my girlfriend, to my ex-wife, to the land that I live on, to my body, everything, you name it. I give thanks for it. And I then ask how I can be of service to the whole. How can I allow my spirit that is full of gratitude out into the world? So please pray. It is so powerful. I just got to look and see how long I've been going here because I've got a call with one of my clients in just a couple minutes. So we'll do one more and we'll see what we get. We'll go back to the moon deck. This is fun. I might do more of these. It's kind of silly. And if you're still here, thank you. I hope there's some value in this for you. Okay. Boom. What do we get? Get out of here. This is wild. Okay. Hunger. Hunger. And it is the 29th card. We've got the wolf howling at the moon. Hunger is a deep, deep human archetypal energy. And it comes about because of that separation that I talked about earlier. We are hungry because we remember on some unconscious level that we are separate from the Godhead. And every desire, drive, hunger that we have is for remembering, for that unity. And this hunger is, yes, physical hunger, right? Hunger in my belly, but it's also hunger for sex. It's hunger for money, hunger for power. This is the will to power. Hunger, raw, pure drive to grow, to evolve, to shift for more, because we think that more is going to solve the hunger. And so we fill ourselves up with money, with alcohol, with love. And then when we're full with everything but unity with God, the immediate craving shifts to a craving to be empty. I just want so badly space and to be alone and to have my time. And then we're empty and the hunger moves to a hunger to be full. And so we're just constantly swinging back and forth between these two poles, and we're following each of them out into the pain and pleasure cycle. So I have this hunger, I do something that brings pleasure to me, and anytime we get off balance, it has to swing back the other way. And so ultimately we wind up back into pain. And then I'm in pain and the hunger is there to get out of pain. And I'm in pleasure and the hunger is there to hold on to the pleasure for a longer period of time. You get the point. There is no filling this hunger. And when you realize that, that is when your life starts to change. Because we no longer go outside of ourselves to fill that hunger. We allow it to bubble up from the inside. We see the adventure that we have in life. We see that the only way to satiate this hunger is to come back into a relationship with God or spirit or universe or whatever word you like to use there. That and only that is going to fill that hole. All right. Thanks for being here with me today. This was fun. Until next time.